All right, to start this off, we're gonna be looking at the lower level of the unit and gonna do some pre-checks on it. First thing you wanna check, starting from right to left and moving over, is gonna be your emergency lower. Make sure it's actually got tension on it. You should feel it being almost like a choke cable on a lawnmower, if you will, where it's got a little bit of tension. That just allows us to know that if it's up in the air and you pull this down, it's got the tension on it to release the hydraulic fluid back down to lower the machine. The next thing we're gonna go over is making sure all the switches and everything appear to be in working order. You have your outdoor and your indoor selector switch. You have your raise and your lower switch. You have a key switch that shows basket controls and ground controls. For the sake of right now, we're gonna go and flip it over to ground controls to show you what it does here in a few minutes. After that, you've got your steer tire control right here just to show it in case you need to move it while on the ground. You have your hour meter to show how many hours is on the machine. Then after that, you have your main kill switch. When you pull it out, the battery is live, and at that point you can operate the machine. When it's pushed in, it's stopped. It's essentially the emergency stop switch on the ground. After that, you have your power supply. This is where you charge it. And on this particular machine, this is also where you run the auxiliary power to for your platform in case you're running any kind of electrical tool. To get into the compartment to check the battery, the hydraulic fluid level and everything on this machine, it's inside this crate, which you just lift up on both of these levers and pull out. When you pull it out, you'll see the hydraulic tank right here, 2 batteries, and you'll see your power box. What you want to make sure of is that there is no leak on the hydraulic tanks. Your batteries are free of corrosion and everything shows to have a solid connection. If at any point you ever get a code on the machine, which means it won't work properly, this particular scissor lift has a code manual on it to show what the different variances of codes are. All right, so we're gonna start off by raising the scissor lift from the ground so we can check the pothole bars to make sure they have no debris in it. And while we're down here, we're also gonna go ahead and check the tires to make sure they don't have any kind of screws or nails in them, which is a common problem that is found on scissor lifts. And this can actually damage the ground that you're operating the scissor lift on. First thing you need to do for this particular scissor lift is pull out the e-stop. Once you've done that, you'll hear it cut on. Make sure that your key is switched over to the ground controls and not the basket controls. We're gonna push this up, which will lower the pothole bars down from the base of the machine. As you can see right here, the pothole bars have come down. There is no debris obstructing it. Therefore, the scissor lift is able to go up and down as it's needed. We can leave this here for right now. We can move over to the tires. When checking for this, just check around the grooves of the tire to make sure there are no screws in it or nails. During normal construction work, people will put screws and stuff down and drop them on the ground. And unfortunately, the scissor lifts will pick them up and they will get embedded into the tire, which this can cause damage to the tire, but it can also cause damage to the floor that the scissor lift is being operated on from different job sites. In the event that your scissor lift dies on the job site, or if you lose power in the control box and you're unable to move the scissor lift, refer to your operator's manual on how to physically move it by unlocking the drive motors on the scissor lift. This will allow you to move your scissor lift out of the way and it not be an obstruction on your job site until it can be repaired and charged.